Okay, so maybe you're asking yourself, where are we getting these dependencies or classes or packages that we are actually importing? Where are we importing them from? How are we implementing and extending them? But probably one thing that I talked about in the previous tutorials, you look at your POM. Make sure that in your POM, as you're creating your quarkus project, you have the following. Make sure you have the following dependencies. Under the dependencies section, make sure you have the quarkus IO or quarkus reactive MySQL client. We shall later use that in creating our MySQL DBs. But it is as simple as this. Copy the dependency, paste it in your POM file under the dependency section, and after pasting it there, you will have to refresh the Maven, and once you refresh Maven, it will install the dependencies in your project. If you don't have this, you can search it online, quarkus reactive MySQL client. I will put it in the description. We haven't reached the time of using this, but probably you might want to use it. Then the hibernate, we have the quarkus hibernate validator. You can install that. The rest you can ignore. I will tell you at the right time to install them. You can as well install this one, which is Java JDBC MySQL. We shall use that one. Then the most important one that you should be having right now is quarkus reactive REST is reactive JSNOB. Then also you must be having the quarkus small rare JOT build. Probably shall be dealing with some JOT in the system. Then also have the quarkus REST client reactive JSNOB, and most importantly, the one that we've been using all along is this, the quarkus hibernate ORM. Make sure you have this, otherwise you will be trying to import or implementing the panache entities and they are not coming because you don't have this dependency in your POM file. So open your POM file, copy this, you can search it online, quarkus hibernate ORM dependency to come, and then paste it in your POM file. Then reload your Maven and it will automatically install it in your project. So we also have quarkus REST is reactive. If you don't have this, probably your project is not going to run. So these are the two most important dependencies that you must have at the beginning in your project. I will paste them in our descriptions, of course, but you need to get them as soon as possible. So for now, at least we can work with these two, quarkus hibernate ORM and quarkus REST is reactive. So that said, I think today let's run through and create and most of the packages that have been lacking for this project. So we would want to have controllers, just like I said previously. Controllers, it's where we have our endpoints of whatever we're going to do. So under the controllers package, we are going to have endpoints. So let's first put endpoints under the controller package, endpoints for every domain that we just created. So we have user, so we're going to have user endpoint, or you can say user controller, because under the controller is where we have those methods, and those methods are the ones that are acting as our endpoints. Okay, so we have user controller class, and you shall also have the shop item controller. So for now, these are the two controllers that we need. Then the other package that we need under our project, we need a package where we're going to put our services. So much important, services. Don't forget, as you're naming packages, use small letters only throughout. So press enter. The service package is created, and under the service package you're going to have now the service classes, the user service. Under the service, where we have the normal algorithms or the functionality or the core now calculation that's where the core code base goes. Then also let me create the shop item service. Then under the services, also one thing that I forgot to tell you, we have a package under the services called payloads, and these payloads, let me first create them. Payloads, these are data carriers, as the word defines them, data carriers. They carry data. For example, when you're making a request on a back end or on a server or on a DB to request for some information, your request is packaged through a payload, that file that carries your request. Say for example, I'm requesting for data in a date range between September this to November this, so that description is carried in a payload. Or give me data that represents this, or for query params, through query params. So you make queries through query params, and all that is carried in what we call payloads. So later on we shall see how we receive responses and of course make requests. So we shall be creating something like a request classes that contain our requests and also responses. We request, then after the server sends the feedback, which is now a response, we receive it as a response. We shall be seeing all that. So under the payloads, you can have at least number one, you can have requests. So you can have a user request, and also under this payload you can have a shop item request. And after requesting, of course, you expect a feedback. So still under the payload you have responses. So the feedback comes through responses. So these two classes is where we put our payload for requesting what we want. When it reaches the back end or the server or the DB, it interprets, that's in the services, and then sends the request using the repositories to the DB, and then the request is now, the response in this case, which is the data that requested for, is packaged through responses and sent back to you through a response. So now let's have user response, and also we can have shop item response. And we shall later on be defining these responses and how they look like, and also the services and how they look like inside. So for now, let's have this basic write-up. Later on in the next tutorial, we're going to talk about a very important tool for the defaults. I call them the defaults, are the packages that come by default with every system that you develop in Java. Packages like authentication, packages like where we have the authentication classes, packages like configurations, handlers, where we have the responses, packages like statics, where we have those enums, the ones that I showed you, time, calendar, those stuff like that. That will be in the next tutorial coming up. So ensure to subscribe and you wait for the next video. Thank you for watching.